Hey there guys, and welcome back. I'm Crazy as always, and today I'm going to be bringing you the next part on my WarZ topic that I have been discussing over the course of the last few days. If you've been keeping an eye on the channel, which due to the views on it, I assume most people have, I recently released a video called Why You Should Not Buy WarZ. Now, the whole part of the post was because of some rather damning evidence that was released about the WarZ due to a guy named DevinH, I forget his last name, and frankly I don't care all that much, on the Rhino Crunch forums and on 4chan of all places. Now, a lot of this evidence was fairly damning, as I said, and due to it, me, as most people, got incredibly worked up about it. Now, to be fair, in a way, the entire radio show, which I really shouldn't have done the video with the commentary from the radio show, but I wanted to get it out as quick as possible because I'm lazy, kind of. Regardless, that is beside the point. But there's been a bit of truth revealed over these last few days from DevinH, how he was apparently lying, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. I want to do this as an update to that video and kind of go over all the points and the situation we're in with WarZ at the moment. So I have the article right here that he posted, and I'm gonna go over every single point that he said. And then I'm just going to do it objectively as I did before. As I said, the radio that I did the recording for is probably a poor decision to do that, because the whole point of the radio is it's hammed up, it's kind of shock jock in a way. So I probably shouldn't have done it like that, but do I regret doing it? No, not really. However, I'm going to go through the entire article here, talk about his points, and then there is this video that he has released, which I will get to in a mere moment. However, without further ado, let's actually begin. So he starts with saying, X4 mod Devin here. Oh, and don't forget at the beginning, he immediately plugs his Twitter. But anyhow, X4 mod Devin here. Let me tell you some stuff you can spot on for a new YouTube video. My forum account was hacked, my fault. They deleted a lot of posts. I was demodded and banned. Got my computer secure, remodded, and unbanned, and took care of business as usual. Except their company is full of dumb fucks and didn't back up the forums at all. No backups whatsoever. Sergey then took it upon himself to tell Kook to demote me for my fuck up that could have been reversed if they were not so fucking stupid. I then made a post in the forums about how I knew this was coming, and I was sorry and would not be supporting a company that did not support their unpaid volunteer moderators who spent over 100 plus hours answering their customers' questions and concerns, as well as relaying them the ideas the community had for their bullshit game. I was then banned for making a rage quit thread permanent, and here's the even funnier part, my endgame account banned on the excuse I had requested a refund. So, since I didn't sign any sort of NDA for those fuckfaces, here are some interesting facts. WarZ is a direct port over from War Inc. They literally took the game and added NPCs, made a large map, and changed around camera angles and gun settings, while adding more functionality and switching over some things. All art was actually done in-house by their amazing art team. They randomly ban accounts that have a certain amount of time spent playing in-game, knowing they are hooked in the game, so they rebuy the game. Their anti-hack is actually functional, but here's the kicker. Want to know why their bans are temporary the first time around? 0.8% hacking? Try an extremely large portion of the player base is hacking. If they banned everyone, they'd have a mass refund issue on their hands, and no one to play their piss poor of an excuse game. They plan to halt development and abandon the game in 6 months if revenue is not enough for them, i.e. people are not buying GC and spending the fuck out of it. Take note, they do not get enough revenue. They will already have enough revenue to pay for the game development for over a year at this point in time already, but if they don't get enough to give themselves regular raises, they will stop making the game and shut down the server's website. He then posts a proof of ban and a picture proof of him not actually requesting I should say refund. But you guys already know my opinion on this. This is going to be a very, very quick update. I'm going to be giving my opinion on both DevinH and the WarZ developers, and up to this point I've been completely objective. Not in the video because I was subjective after that, but I gave the objective thing. Now, as you can see, there are the 3 main points you should really be keeping an eye on, is the random banning of accounts, their anti-hack not being functional, and the plan to halt development and abandon the game. Now, those are the 3 things you should really keep an eye on, for obvious reasons. You already know my opinion on them. I'm assuming everybody who's watching this video has already watched the previous one before. You guys already know my opinion on this. I don't like it one bit. I could go on for hours, and indeed I did go on for nearly an hour about my opinion on it. So, I'm not the biggest fan of it, as you can tell. Serious problems going on here. However, DevinH himself, the guy who actually made the post, then went on to YouTube and released a video. I'm actually dead serious. He went on to release a video saying that every single thing he posted on that Rhino Crunch forum was false. the fact of the matter was, when he was banned for this, he wanted to go back and actually, and these are all in his words, kind of hurt the company's sales. So basically what he's saying here is, the fact that they randomly ban accounts is false. Their anti-hack is actually functional, but here's the kicker, is false. They plan to halt development and abandon the game. That is also false, at least according to him. Now if you go in the description, it says FAQ. I heard they were going to take legal action. Well, they could have, they amazingly did not. They did nothing to lash out at me whatsoever. I find that immensely hard to believe. He was then asked if any of what he posted was true to any extent. He then answers, no, nothing was true. He's then asked, are they paying you to make this video? He then answers, certainly not. I would never enable a company to actually scam people. I did this due to the guilt that has been caused on my part. I've dealt with it daily, knowing I may very well be making a company lose money. He's then asked, what now? Time will tell. And then, yeah, that was about it. So, what do you have to say about this? This is an interesting little situation here, and I was going back and forth with a guy on YouTube who was, immediately brought up the whole situation, and I believe his name was Dr. MSY or something along those lines, Dr. Missy, I have no idea, but he brought up the whole idea of how, or he was bringing up how he released a video and I asked for proof and all this because, you know, I'd already been trolling off that day, so I was a little sick of it at that point, but he brought up the whole point of the video, yada yada yada, so I took a look at it, and now if I look at the YouTube comments, they're very polarized at the moment. The top one actually says he's being forced to do this already because of legal repercussions, slander, lawsuits, sucks the game has already started to decline though. Yeah. The comments mostly lie towards the idea that really none of this is true and that he's being forced to do this. And my actual opinion on this is, this sounds very conspiracy-like, but my actual opinion on it is this, that they most likely did file legal accounts and basically came to an agreement with him and said, if you take back everything you said, don't slander the company anymore, we will actually not take action against you. I find it very, very, very hard to believe that they did not take legal action against him for basically going out and slandering a company. Hell, I slandered their company when I made the video. So, and I actually have copyright problems with that. Well, I don't have copyright problems, but I can't actually monetize the thing. And I didn't want to monetize it because at the end of the day, it's a video solely for discussion. But regardless, that's beside the point. The fact that they didn't actually take legal action against him is incredibly surprising. And I don't want to slander, well, I really don't care at this point, but the WarZ devs haven't exactly been known as being the most fair and basically friendly people in terms of company, how they work and all that. In fact, I almost find it really hard to believe that when he says WarZ is a direct over from War Inc., or direct port over from War Inc., I also find it hard to believe that that was a lie, because there have been people that have actually gotten over that no pass area. If you don't know, in WarZ, the map is still being added to, and there are actually areas where they stop you from continuing. There are people who've gotten past those boundaries and went into the debug area, whatever you want to call it, the area that's still being worked on, and as they were in there, they would find out that no, this is actually not complete yet, it's not being added at a later date, and it's not actually finished. What they're actually doing is they're adding on to it, and basically what they did is lied. They would go in there, they'd see areas, and they would see new crap getting added, like bridges that weren't there before, buildings that weren't there before, all that kind of stuff, and they realized, you know, the WarZ devs are actually lying to us here. This area is not complete by any stretch of the imagination. Now, my actual opinion on WarZ, because people brought this up so much in that video, and I have absolutely no idea why. It doesn't surprise me though, because I've been on the internet forever, and people just love to bring up irrelevant crap, but my opinion on WarZ is when it first came out, I was hugely supportive of it. When I first heard about it, I was like, this could be a really great thing. We're in this area where we are actually watching a genre form here. We are seeing the forming of a zombie survival genre, and this is fantastic, and it's going to be awesome, and I was incredibly excited for WarZ until I found out it was $30 with a real money auction house. I mean, I could have gotten past the crap, a few of the game flaws, because there are quite a few, but there are quite a few things that they also do right as well. However, regardless of that opinion, I just find it so very hard to believe that this is actually the truth, that Devin is coming out now and saying, yeah, I lied about everything. Well, that was quick. But my opinion on Devin, regardless, is that I wasn't holding him in very high esteem. I never once mentioned my opinion in Devin in the video, and I never once mentioned it in the comments, and I really should have done it. Personally, I thought Devin was a bit of scumbag from the start. Why do I think this? Because he was holding on to this information, whether it was true or not, from the very beginning, and he just now decided to come out with it. That could also be used to counter-argue that really he is just lying. If he had this information the entire time, then you think he would come out of it. But then you also have the counter-argument to that even, and you could say, well, he could have came up with that information, but they would have gotten rid of him from his moderator job, and let's face it, being in that position is actually pretty good. Sure, it's a volunteer job, and you're putting in 100 plus hours, and you're not getting paid, but it's still a fairly informative position to be in. So there is that counter-argument as well, and at the end of the day, I think this adds a whole new dynamic to the whole argument of who is in the wrong here. Like, I'm still not supporting WarZ by any stretch of the imagination. I'm still holding on to the belief that these facts are true at the moment. I have no reason, other than this video, to believe otherwise. Now, do I believe that there's a huge possibility that everything that this guy has said is 100% wrong? Yes, absolutely certain. But this guy, and I said this in the comments as well, is this guy has not exactly proven himself to be the most, shall I say, honest individual. So when he comes up with this video saying how he has once again lied, I find it very hard to believe, and I find it very hard to believe that it's not just the WarZ developers, which would be Hammerpoint, are basically filing legal action against him and saying, no, you can't do this, this is basically slandering our company. If you take back everything you said and cease to slander us, we will not take legal action against you, because at the end of the day, that's money and man hours and time that you don't want to get into. A lot of people don't actually understand this about legal action, is that companies rarely like to get into legal action. I mean, this takes hundreds of thousands of dollars, hours, time, and money away from that company, resources that could be spent to improving, patching, and developing a game even further. Why would they actually want to waste that on suing a moderator that isn't even paid or even in their employ anymore? I shouldn't even say employ. He was volunteered by them. Why would they want to waste that? They have absolutely no reason to. They're not going to waste those resources. So it would make much more sense for a company to say, stop this now, take back everything you've said, and cease to talk about us in any capacity whatsoever, and we will not take legal action against you. In fact, it's probably just a scare tactic. However, these are just my 2 cents about it. I'm honestly not too certain what to think about the whole situation. I'm honestly very wary of both sides now. In fact, I was wary of both sides before, but I'm not going to be taking down the why you should not be buy the WarZ video. I'm going to leave it up, keep it up there. I'm going to leave an annotation on there that basically describes the situation, much like this video does. But I wanted to leave this as an update so people could see it. And however, you guys, have, as I said in the video, should be able to come to your own conclusions. That's what I wanted you to do in your own video, or in my own video, when I had those final 2 captions at the end, was look at this evidence and make your own conclusion. Because, let's face it, this is just a complete clusterfuck of gray shades and who you can and cannot trust. So, there's that. However, ladies and gentlemen, I've been crazy as always, and I'll see you next time. What an interesting week this has been, hasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Take care, and I'll see you next time.